The elegant crowd stared. Whispers sliced through the air like knives. She sat alone, her arms bare, marked by fire and war, not fashion. As her daughter stepped on stage to give the valedictorian speech, the mocking laughter behind her grew louder, but then boots echoed through the hall. 15 Marines, dressed in full uniform, marched toward her. No one understood what was happening until one of them stopped, turned to the stunned crowd, and saluted. "This woman saved our lives. You don't get to mock her. You stand for her." The auditorium froze. Then erupted, and in that moment, the scars that chained her became the very reason the world stood still. Amelia Hart was not a woman who sought attention. As a trauma nurse for over 2 decades, she was used to being invisible, a silent presence in the operating room, in war zones, in hurricanes, and in shelters where no one else dared to go. Her face carried the quiet grace of someone who had saved countless lives. Her hands, steady and scarred, bore testimony to her calling. But there was one thing more important to her than any mission she ever served on: her daughter. Lily. Graduation day had finally arrived, and Amelia, dressed in a simple navy blue dress and a second-hand clutch, stood in the auditorium among sleek designer outfits and glinting jewelry. Her daughter was the valedictorian, first in her class, a scholarship winner, a future medical student. And as proud as Amelia was, she couldn't ignore the whispers around her. In the row behind her, a couple of mothers whispered not so softly, "Who brings a homeless woman to a graduation? She should have worn sleeves. God, look at those scars, like something out of a war movie." They were referring to the jagged marks on Amelia's arms, skin grafts from when she pulled to infants out of a fire at an understaffed clinic during a flood crisis in Louisiana. No one knew that story. No one cared. The murmurs swelled, and Amelia's smile faltered. She wasn't ashamed of her past, but for once, she didn't want to be seen as the woman with scars. She wanted to be Lily's mom. She took a deep breath and stared at the stage, refusing to turn around. As Lily's name was called, Amelia stood and clapped. Her hands trembled with joy, but again came the snide remark, "Poor girl. Must be embarrassing having that for a mother." What no one noticed, though, was a group of sharply dressed men quietly entering the auditorium's back row. Men with crisp posture, regulation haircuts, and piercing gazes. Marines. They had come not for the ceremony, but for Amelia. 15. Marines, all in formal dress blues, had come to honor the woman who once served as the sole nurse on a field mission during a deadly ambush in Kandahar. A mission where she worked for 48 hours straight, treating the wounded, stitching open wounds with flashlight batteries for light, and feeding soldiers with her own rations. Those Marines were her former patients. They had tracked her down after. Lily mentioned her mom in a college essay titled "The Invisible Hero Who Raised Me." The essay went viral in a private veterans group. The men made a pact: when the girl who called Amelia mom graduated, they would be there. As Lily gave her valedictorian speech, she paused. Her eyes scanned the crowd and landed on Amelia, whose head was slightly lowered. She saw the pain. Then she saw the moment. One by one, the Marines rose from their seats in the back. They marched forward in unison, boots echoing in the quiet auditorium, until they stood beside Amelia. One of them, Staff Sergeant Dalton, faced the crowd and declared, "This woman saved 27 men in one night. She carried us on her back, bleeding, crying, burning. She's the reason we're alive. You will not mock her, you will honor her." Gasps rippled through the room. The women who had been whispering turned ghostly pale. One even fumbled her purse and hurried out. The entire auditorium rose to its feet, a spontaneous standing ovation for Amelia. Her scars, once whispered about, now shimmered like medals. Lily, wiping tears from her eyes, found her voice again. "People always ask me how I managed to be valedictorian. I never had to look far for inspiration. My mother didn't wear a stethoscope or medals every day. She wore her scars. That's how I learned to fight, to love, to serve." The graduation speech was later shared on national news, and Amelia Hart became a symbol of unsung heroes, Not because she saw it, but because the world could no longer ignore her light. The legacy continues. Amelia never changed. She returned to work the next day at a local clinic. But this time, parents brought their kids to meet her. Doctors asked her to speak at medical schools. Veterans visited just to thank her, and Lily? She started her first day at medical school with a note in her pocket. It read, "Your scars will one day become someone's reason to keep going. Wear them proudly. Love, Mom."